Have you wondered how to piece your backing so that you can use up some of your fabric from the front of it so that you don't have to put it in your stash? I'm going to show you how I approach this. I'm Pat Sloan. Thank you for being here on my YouTube channel, friend. It's like we do a lot of fun things here, including little tutorials like this, plus just lots of quilt chatter. So every day except for Sunday I will have a video and I just talk about quilting. And today it is backing. We had a question from the royal we. I had a question from Mindy. Mindy wanted to know, how to approach this. Now but I'm going to show you my approach. First of all, when you're doing backing, a lot of people will just buy a wide back. This is set the stage. So a lot of people will buy a wide back, which means you don't piece anything. Generally, these are so wide that they will fit almost every quilt anybody's making. So there's no piecing. You just buy the big, huge piece of fabric and you're good to go. Other times people will look at buying yardage. This is my Morrison Park. It is a regular 40 inches wide. I use 40 inches. It might be 40 and a half. It might be 41, depending on your fabric manufacturer, but I use 40 for my calculations. This, to do a quilt like that's on the wall, you're going to have to piece it because it is just not wide enough. You can see, I'll put it on this side. This is just edge to edge. It doesn't even reach the whole quilt. So I would have to probably go a whole yardage and then cut some strips and put them on the side to get the overage so that I could quilt my quilt. Or if you're going to send it to long armor, you're going to need at least like maybe 4 inches on all the sides. So you need quite a bit extra to get it onto the frames. I have a little diagram. So here's a diagram where it shows you just 2 pieces like this, which would be 40 inches. Now, I'm not going to go into directional and things like that, but if you've got directional fabrics, you are going to need to think about that when you're doing those 2 strips. If you don't care about the directional fabric, then you can be more frugal and you don't need to do 2 wide strips for this quilt. I can turn it and do width of fabric and get that skinny strip that I need. Like maybe it needed about another 10-inch wide strip. So I would have one going this way that's 40 inches wide, then I would maybe have a 10-inch wide strip next to it, and that would be one seam and piecing my backing. Well, what if you want to do this? What if you want to use up some of the fabrics that are here? And that is what I want to do for this quilt. I'll show you the front when we're done. I promise, I'll show you the front. This is an older quilt that I did with some sew along a long time ago. I don't know, maybe 10 years or more. And it had this really darling camping fabric. So let me just scroll you in a bit so you can see the fabric. And what I did is I used these camping fabrics on the front, the whole collection. It had like those little sort of looks like trees at the top. I think the one on the left was from another collection, but it may have been this one. But then it had this stripe with all the little dancing marshmallows, the s'mores, the campers. It had these cute owls, the leaf print. And I just wanted to use up some of this diagonal stripe, which who knows, I hope I saved some for the binding somewhere. It wasn't pinned to it, so I'm not hopeful. So this is what I did. We're going to look at that diagram again because it shows us my process, the easy way, the easy process. Now you could just start sticking your bigger pieces of fabric up here, but basically you're building a grid. This is just a grid. So let's look at this. Let's look at this diagram again on the bottom. If you want to think of it an easy way, you've got your 40-inch wide, and there I didn't have enough for the whole length of the quilt. So I had 2 chunks on the one side. They're the same width, so I would sew those 2 chunks together. Then to get the next side, of it, I was taking smaller strips. Maybe they were leftovers from fat quarters or whatever, but they all need to be the same length, but they could have been different widths. I just made the drawing, they were all the same. So then those all would get sewn together. Then those 2 sides would be sewn together, and then you would have a backing that used up a lot of what you had. Within each of those units, like the 40 by 20 or whatever. That could be 5 different fabrics if that's what you have. Just make it up to that size. So basically you're working off a grid. If you're trying to figure this out for yourself, you could do graph paper, and you could measure your fabrics and then draw it on the graph paper and know where the pieces go, like a puzzle. Or you can do kind of what I do, which is I build it as I go. On this quilt, this is one piece of fabric, this is one piece of fabric, and this is one piece of fabric. So I made all of these the same length, and I sewed them together. But basically I don't do it that way. I sew them together and then I cut them to the same length. Like, so maybe this one was a little bit longer, so I just cut it off afterwards. Now way over here, I had some little strips, and so these are little strips that I put in here. After that, I had a long piece, but I'm going to scroll you in. Well, you can probably see that. This was vertical and this was horizontal. So I sewed those together to get the whole length I needed from here to here. And after that, I still needed some width on my backing, and I added this, which is one piece top to bottom. I don't really measure this. Now, of course, this backing is already quilted into the quilt, so it was wider than this to begin with. I've already trimmed this, ready to put binding on it. So let me turn it around and you can see this quilt. I'll hold it up first. Let me see if I have it right side up. Do I? Yes. So here is the quilt, and I'll put it on the wall then. It was a sampler, and it was done with this fabric line, basically. I used this fabric line and then some yellow and that green polka dot. I just love this quilt. Every time I get it out, I'm like, I need to finish this. The other thing that I did was some fussy cutting of the little campers. This is a very old Moda line done by Cosmo Cricket. For those of you who think you're going to go search it out, good luck. It's old. And I also had corner blocks that I used up fabric. It was so much fun to work on. Let me just pin it up here for my backdrop. And then Cindy and Dennis quilted it with, there's like leaves in here and swirls. It's super fun. Now, most likely, I'm diverging here, but most likely I have to go find something else to bind it with because I don't think I have anything left. This is I think this is a Kaif fabric, and it's likely I might be able to find that Kaif, which is sort of this rusty color, and that would look good for the binding. Or a teal. I could use a solid teal, any like a darker teal that's in some of the fabrics. That would be what I could do. So the backing is, piece backing is a lot of fun. It lets you use up your fabric. I have done them for years. I have done them on a lot of quilts. If you watch Kimberly's video from my trunk show where she flipped the back for the quilts, you saw that I not only had piece backings like on the Liberty Hill, which is the blue version of the red and white crush that's on my wall. I put it in the book and called it Liberty Hill. But also, I don't always have to have fabric from the front used in the back. Like this yellow here that I had on the backing, this is not used in the front at all. So, but I'm okay with that. That is fine with me. It's just sort of the same color, so I go for that, and I think that works really well. Fun, right? I hope that helped. Let me know in the comments if you piece your backing. If you have a very specific question, leave it. This is how I approach it. There are many other ways to approach it. I'm sure that you can find them out there in the world of the internet. And I want to show you one thing before I go that I finished. I got the little ponies. Oh, there they are. Don't let them upside down. You can't let, oh, now they're upside down. Okay, ponies right side up. There we go. Here's the pony fabric. And so now I have the ponies and the raccoons. The raccoons are pinned up there right above the sewing machine. You can see them. I think I might do 9 patches and make this, the ponies, like the middle, like the middle block, and then the others I would do light pink like the raccoons. That's my plan, and I'm sticking to it. Thank you, my friend, for being here. Thank you for watching. All the links are below to anything I talk about, and also for you to subscribe. So I love you. Mwah. See you online.